Hey folks, welcome to Backyard Today. This afternoon, it's almost evening, but we're going to do something for you unusual. I usually say different, but I'm trying to expand my vocabulary and I'm going usual, unusual. We're going to do a quiche in a Dutch oven. A quiche. Yeah, that's a hard word for old country guy like me to say. But a quiche and an egg bake are very, very similar, except a quiche is done in a pastry or a pie crust, okay? Where an egg bake is just poured directly into your baking dish or directly into your Dutch oven. So a quiche is a more elegant form. It's typically a little richer, a little creamier. So we're going to be doing an egg bake for you. But I got to just tell you one thing. Emmett decided to come out today. But I don't know, folks. It is so hard to find good help these days. He's laying down. He's taking a nap. He ain't even helping me. He's just, look at that pose. I think he's a movie star or something. So anyway, he's out here, but I don't know what good he's going to do. So let's get started on getting you this quiche put together. We're going to do our little prep work for our quiche first. We're going to put a little oil in our cast iron skillet. And again, I've done several of these, and I kind of like doing them. People don't expect it on a chuck wagon. They don't expect it cooked out in the backyard. Doing this a little unconventionally today, but I put this oil in here. What we're going to be adding to our quiche is this is actually mustard greens. Let me move this lazy guy out of the way for you. Mustard greens. Now, you want a little tartness. This is going to be creamy, but so we're going to put these mustard greens in here. This is about 4 cups of chopped green stems removed. Now we're going to sweat this down on the fire. We're going to do this cowboy style, folks, because I've got too many pieces of wood in there to be able to put my grating. So we're going to go right on it. All right, folks. I got so much wood on here, I can't put my grate that I usually have on top. So we're going to do this very campfire style. We're going to go directly on that fire, just like you would if you were on a campfire or improvising, such as we're doing here. I get a lot of people, well, not a lot, but I get several people ask me, can I do this on my gas grill? Most certainly. You don't have to have wood. This is the way I cook, okay? I'm not saying you have to cook this way. Any outdoor grill, gas, you can do these on pellet grills. There's a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be a wood grill. Where our skillet was getting a little hot, we pulled it off. To that, we're going to add our mushrooms. And it's best to cook these before you do this in your quiche, because liquid will come out of these and will make your quiche kind of soggy. And a half of an onion. Let's get this stirred up. We'll be going back on the fire here in just a minute. To that, before we go on the fire, we're going to add about a teaspoon, maybe. This is what's going to contain the seasoning of our quiche. We're not going to put this in the egg mixture, folks. Now, doing a quiche, doing an egg bake, doing any of that stuff, the ingredients that goes in there, you can find recipes for all different kinds. But the ingredients that goes in there is up to you. Put what you like in there. The only thing that is difficult to add to an egg bake or add to a quiche is tomatoes, unless you take a lot of the water out of those tomatoes. We're getting a little hot. Let's come off here. And we go to the low knob. Catching me wiping the sweat off my glasses and off my forehead. And that rag we'll put down there because we don't want to use that in the food. For simplicity of the things that we're going to do today, we're going to use a pre-made pie crust. We bought this deep pie crust. We let it thaw out. What we want to do first is brush a little bit of butter in this pie crust. Yeah, we'll get a little butter on here. You know, butter's going to help these get a little color on it, although that ain't worried about necessarily, but I just like butter. There's butter everywhere. Okay, there we go. Get my sweat rag back out. This time of year is hard on everybody, folks, when you're doing these. In this big bowl right here, we're going to put 4 eggs. Now, this mixture may be a little much for our pie crust, but if we have any left over, we'll just make us an omelet. If you're wondering where our vegetables are, they were done. We pulled them off, and we set them out to cool just a little bit. We don't want them really, really hot, and you won't either. If you have something really, really hot and you add it to these eggs, your eggs are going to scramble up. Okay, and they're not going to be creamy. They're going to set up before you get in there. To those 4 eggs, we're going to add a little milk. Or we're going to call this milk. I'm going to put this little milk in here, and I'm going to say it's about 1/4 cup of milk. Maybe a little more because we just got rid of everything that was in there. Our butter and eggs are in here, and we're going to whip these up and get them together. Our butter and eggs. Listen to me, folks. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Our milk and eggs. Some people like water in here instead of milk. Some people put cream. Some people put half and half. Again, food is food. You do what you think you need to do to make it the way you like it. All right. We got those beat up where they're kind of creamy like that right there. Now, to that, we're going to put Fontina cheese. I'm a big Fontina cheese person. Fontina cheese is an Italian cheese. We've graded this up. It has cow's milk in there. The milk content, or the milk fat content of Fontina cheese, is about 45%. Okay? So it's a very rich cheese, and it's going to have a real nutty flavor. I'm going to mix some of that cheese in here. We got our vegetables in this pan right here that we've got cooled down, so it's not super, super hot. It is warm, but it isn't super hot. Okay? We want to get that off in this egg mixture. And again, if you think it's too hot, do this a little bit at a time to temper, is a fancy word, your eggs, so that you don't want to put anything hot in your eggs. We don't want scrambled eggs. We're trying to make a quiche. Folks, and we want to thank you, as we always do, for watching us on the videos, watching our Facebook, looking at us, Instagram, all the different places we're at. And we want to have a special thank you for those that have come out to see us or even ask us to come cook. We really appreciate that a whole lot. All right, we got all of that in here. We're kind of mixing this up together. And we buttered our pie crust. Maybe some people might say I buttered it a little early. Maybe. But butter is my weakness. I think of all the food ingredients, butter is something that it's just my weakness. I will do anything for butter. Now, on your greens, if you're using greens or you're using kale, make sure you get the heavy stems out of it. You don't want to bite off in one of them in this luscious or quiche. We're going to start putting this in there. Remember, it's going to expand just a little. We may not be perfectly level. I think we can take a little bit more. Again, if there's any of this left, we're going to make something out of it. I guarantee you we're not going to let it go to waste. All right, folks, we got an ugly little Dutch oven here. We're trying to get some work on, and we're going to use it today. Now, why don't I put this directly in here like an egg bake? Or why don't I put the pie crust in here and put the quiche mixture in there and cut it? Getting it out of a Dutch oven when you put a pie directly in here is very, very hard. All right, you'll tear up the first 2 or 3 pieces getting it out, unless you're way better at it than me. All right, so we're going to use the pie crust, and we're going to put it in here and do like we did before. We're telling you we're going to do an oven. We've got a little rack in the bottom because I don't like it sitting directly on the bottom. We're going to take our quiche I can do it without spilling it. And we spilt just a little. We're going to get it off in the Dutch oven. There we go. See it off in the Dutch oven. All right, we're going to bake it off in our smoker. And again, I've had a lot of people ask me about, can I do this on a gas grill? Yes, you can do this on any grill. All we're doing is wanting to heat up the air inside our Dutch oven. Okay, folks, we got our Dutch oven off in there with the quiche in there. We've got an older 10-inch lid underneath. Again, legs on the bottom of the Dutch oven will poke through this grate. So I usually try to put something, a piece of steel or something underneath it. I may have ran through a few things really quick. We sauteed our vegetables off to try to remove as much moisture as we could, because we didn't want that moisture to be released in the egg mixture as this cooks, whether that be an egg bake or a quiche such as we're making. The liquid in there will boil up through there and actually steam a lot of the ingredients rather than them cooking. So that's why we sauteed them off. One, it'll make them a little bit softer. Look who decided to wake up now that food's almost ready. I think this is about ready. We're going to get ready to take this out. Now, cooking this way in a smoker or doing it this way, a lot of heat comes to the bottom of this more than the top. You cook on your Dutch oven the conventional way with coals, you're putting coals on top and the bottom, and they're fairly well balanced. You have to watch when you cook like this, our heat's coming through the smoker, it's coming up from the bottom. Obviously that lid at the bottom kind of helps disperse that a little bit. Yeah, we can get this out of here without burning ourselves. You need to use a stick or a toothpick or something like this, just like you were baking a cake. You want it to go in and come out clean. Got any moisture on there, then you know that you're not quite done. So we know we're done. And man, I can't wait to get into this. All right, folks, we got that quiche out here. We're going to try to get us a piece cut out if we can and get it out here for y'all to see. Why don't y'all step on up here a little bit? We broke part of the crust getting it out of the Dutch oven, but it happens. Folks, I'm sorry, we got a really dull knife out here. It's not going to be pretty. It's tearing up our quiche and not cutting. But we'll have to work on that knife, I guess. The first piece of pie is always the one that's the worst. And I broke that one up. All right, folks, let's take a taste of this. You can kind of see how we've got everything in here. And the texture of this, you can see it's kind of fluffy. We've got all of our greens in there and our vegetables. And folks, this is screaming hot. I know I was burning my hands trying to get that out. That's really, really good. So folks, I apologize for the dull knife. We're going to take that in and work on it. We couldn't get through our pie crust at the bottom right, but we got this all done. We're going to go in and enjoy a quiche. Fancy name for an egg bake cooked in a pie shell. And don't be afraid if things don't go right. I broke the crust taking it out of the Dutch oven. I mean, you've got to be prepared. Everything you do is not perfect. And the shows, some shows that are perfect, they're edited out. They take away these things like this right here. I don't edit that out. I just let you see the good, bad, and the ugly. So folks, enjoy your weekend. And we just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do. Enjoy